Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy YouTube Blue coming back at you again, and it's Tuesday morning. Just got my son. He back there drinking his bottle. So today is the 14th, right? It is the day before the deadline of Dak Prescott signing his actual contract. Now, the question is, will he sign said contract? That's been a mystery for a while, right? And you guys know me, I'm not big on trying to keep talking about it and stuff like that. I just was trying to wait for it to happen and happen. If it do, it do. It don't, it don't. But the longer that it doesn't, will it, does it become a problem? But, I mean, he is signed. He does have his franchise tag. But the only problem with the franchise tag is when you play on that $31.4 million goes straight to the cap. Straight to the cap. So, meaning the Dallas Cowboys can't spread that money out. So, the Cowboys have roughly $11 or so million right now to play with. So, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep that. They're not going to mess with that. So, but the thing is, if he does sign the contract, his actual contract, 5-year, 4-year, whatever the hell that they talk about, they can ultimately spread that money out from year to year. So it doesn't all hit on 1 year like it would with said 31 mil. So, with 31 and a half, 31.4, you know what I mean? But I say that, who knows? I mean, he might end up playing on the franchise tag, but they can't do this again because we don't want another Kirk Cousins situation. That's what we don't want. Now, on the reference of Jerry Jones being quiet, you guys heard me talk about on previous videos about that. But one thing that we didn't think about is that could Jerry Jones be just sick? You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not mad that we have a quiet offseason because we should, as other teams do. You know, because the Cowboys are always in the limelight because they're America's team, right? It's always like they just bring out something to talk about. You know, because it seems like other teams could do things quietly, but it never seems like the Cowboys can do things quietly. It's always, everything is always out there in the media for the media to see. So, then when you look at it, you're just like, okay, what's the situation? What's really going on? Now, if Jerry Jones is sick, because let's be honest with you, he's what, 77 years old, 70-something years old? Like, you know, he's getting up there in age, and there have been talks and whispers in previous seasons about him, you know, having ailments and things like that. We know he had the hip surgery and things of that nature, but they were talking about other stuff that was going on with him. But again, if he is sick, I'm gonna keep him in my prayers, and that should stay in-house anyway. That shouldn't be, because it's not football business, so it shouldn't be in the media, it shouldn't be in the news anyway. If there's something wrong with them, let them handle that within the family, within the Jones family. But, you know, like I said, if there is something wrong, I will keep in my prayers, and I probably do that anyway. But I just look at it like, I try not to speculate or assume certain things because, again, we don't know the situation. I don't judge situations because, you know, if Jerry's quiet, there's a reason why he's quiet. You know what I mean? We don't know what that situation is. We don't know. So I'm not going to criticize until we figure it out. Now, if he has a conversation with his team, with his players and things of that nature, then so be it. That is team business. Ain't got nothing to do with us. Us on the outside, we're just looking at it. And like I said, I don't think of it any type of way or any negative way. I just look at it and say, okay, hopefully it's going to be a positive situation that it turns out to be. Also, too, football in general, me living in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, I hear about the Redskins all day, every day, because, again, I live right here in Maryland. So you look at that situation and you're like, the Washington football team had to change their name. And it's a dispute right now. It's a lot of things. I kind of feel sorry for the Washington team right now. You want to know why? Because it's a lot of stuff going on right now. So those of you that live in other states that don't know what's going on outside of what you hear, the issue is right now, this is crazy. The issue is the name, right? So there have been 5 names thrown around. And one of them is what I've been saying for years that it should have been. The Washington Warriors. Then they talked about the Washington Red Tails, basically to commemorate the Tuskegee Airmen, military, to support the military. I'm all for that. The Red Wolves. Now, I saw the logo that they made up for that. That's actually hot. I ain't even gonna lie. Like the Red Wolf logo that they were supposed to be coming out with, that was sweet. You all right? Then there was a couple other names too. But funny, there's this guy in Virginia, in Alexandria, Virginia, that went and trademarked 5 of the names that the Washington team was thinking about changing the name to. Wow, he must be a fan that didn't want them to change the name. And he went and trademarked it. So now they got to go through him to figure out how they're going to get whatever name that they want. Even if they're going to use one of those names, if they're going to just come up with a whole nother different name. Who knows? Hey, boo-boo. Another thing is, if they decide to use one of those names, then so be it. Then they're gonna have to go through that trademark situation with that individual that took the name. Then another thing is, another huge thing is, where are they gonna play? Because where they are right now, Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field. Now, FedEx, the company FedEx, again, they were to owe them, the team were to owe them $250 million if they were to back out of that contract, because if they didn't change that name. So they were pretty much force-fed to change the name. We know that Dan Snyder didn't want to change the name, but, you know, he was forced this offseason. Now, where they're going to play, you know, the D.C. mayor, Muriel Bowser, she wants the team to be in D.C. again. But the problem with that is D.C. is a very tight place for an NFL team. Now, it was a wonder that they even played there to begin with at RFK Stadium. But now with technology and things getting bigger and you needing bigger facilities now, I don't think it could go right back where RFK was, because it would create so much more traffic. I mean, you talk about how bad the traffic is on a normal basis, pre-COVID, that is. That would just be insane. I think that them keeping it on the Maryland side would have been better, because Maryland is more suburbia and it's not city. So it's more open land, more open area. And you can get a plot of land to do that and such. You know, we talked about them going back to where the National Harbor is, the MGM that's over there in Oxon Hill, Maryland, you know, which is kind of close to D.C. It's close to the line. But them going back into the city, where you going to put it at? If not where RFK used to be. So, it's just going to be a weird situation for them, though. But that's something they got to deal with. But as far as this season goes, training camp's supposed to start on the 28th. We'll see what happens with that. Some of the players didn't want a preseason. They didn't want preseason games because they wanted to use that time to have more practice time, more training camp time, because they didn't get allowed the time to be together this offseason, to have mini camp, to come together and just be a team. They weren't allowed to do that. So, I mean, I just feel like regardless of what they do, there's going to be injuries this season. There's injuries every year. But I feel like with this year, it's going to be a lot of soft tissue injuries, because, again, these players have not been able to practice like that. So it's just been crazy. Now, Oakley, the sunglass company, you know, they already do visors for some of the players that got those tinted visors and stuff like that. They're coming out with these safety shields for the helmets. So basically redesigning the helmets for the shields for this COVID season to help the players from contracting COVID. Now, would it help? It should. It's definitely a step in the right direction. We'll see how that works out. But outside of that, how long is that going to take? Because training camp is in what? A week or two? 2 weeks? week and a half. So they're going to have to get that together. They're going to have to get that together because I'm telling you, you got to have those shields by training camp because they have to be able to put them with the helmets. And because if it is a different helmet that they're using, they have, you know, with the safety regulations, they got to make sure that they have those in practice. So when they play in the game, it's not a brand new helmet. It's got to be worn in a little bit. You know what I mean? That's the CTE requirements. So there's been a battle between the NFLPA and the actual NFL as far as players. You know, the NFLPA gave the players an opportunity to opt out if they didn't want to play this season, if they felt like if their safety was in danger. Then the NFL didn't like that situation because the NFL just want to make money. That's what the NFL is about. I get it. But what about the players? The players are people too. You know what I mean? They have families to go home to. So you got to think about them because they're the most important thing. Like I said, football is entertainment, but it is what it is. So to counteract that, there was a proposal out there that basically said that, okay, if the players put up 35% of their salary and put it into an escrow, just in case something happens, they can still get paid even if there's no football season. So hopefully by next season, things will somewhat come back to normalcy so they can play normal games. Now, a lot of the players, well, some of the players didn't like that, which obviously the ones that don't get paid enough. But even some of the ones that get paid a lot griped about it. But I wouldn't have griped about it because I look at it like this. If the NFL, if they don't have a season, you still want to get paid, right? So it's not like they're taking away from you forever. You're getting your money back at some point. So I don't understand it. If it were me, I'd be trying to do whatever it takes to, you know, try to get it done, you know, but that's just me. So it's just been a lot of back and forth going on. So they're going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to figure all of that out. It's a lot going on right now. So, you know, with the Redskins, I mean, can't say that name no more. With the Washington team trying to change their name and figuring out where they're going to play at after this season, and that's going to be interesting. And just the NFL in general, and then our Dallas Cowboys, and wondering what's going on with Jerry, if he's okay or not. But that's the biggest thing, is that if he's okay. Because, again, him being quiet is not normal. So it's something going on. Either he's got COVID or he's got some other illness. But either way, I'm going to keep him in my prayers. And you guys should too, as Cowboys Nation. So let me know what you guys think about just everything I talked about, or just this season in general. Whether you think we're going to play or not. Whether you think that it's smart to play. I don't know. I do miss football. I'm not going to lie. But I'm not trying to be selfish, because I do realize that these players and their lives come first, period. So it is what it is. So to that standpoint, let me know what you guys think. I've been losing subscribers left and right. I don't know what's going on. I guess you guys ain't messing with me no more. I don't know. And if I said something wrong, I apologize. If you misconstrued what I said, you know, I'm still the same old E2 Blue. I don't know what the issue is, but hey, you know, I'm still here doing videos, and I guess if you guys, you know, I guess people stop banging with me, but it's all good though. I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon.